University students traveled to Uganda for an internship. They didn't know that their lives and the lives of so many others would be changed forever. And it is always an inspiration for me to hear the stories of people who see a need in the world and then make it their mission to initiate some type of change. And that is certainly the case with this organization that you're going to learn about today. Let me bring on Andrea Kazindra and Hamil Kazindra to tell us more about Musana today. Andrea and Hamil, really good to see you today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
So tell us about Musana, how it got started, and a little bit more of that history.
Yeah, so I grew up here in Colorado and went to CU Boulder, was in the business school, and really just didn't know what I was going to do with my life. Wanted to make an impact, wasn't really sure why I was in the business school, and learned about this concept of microfinance, which was so exciting, right? Using business to uplift the poorest people in the world. And so I got really excited, decided to sign up for an internship in Uganda. So the summer of 2008, after my sophomore year, went to Uganda with my sister and a friend. And shortly after we arrived in Uganda, we began volunteering at an orphanage. This orphanage had 160 kids living in it. I have some photos, if you want to put them up, of this orphanage. But the kids were living in just the worst conditions you could possibly imagine. This is a picture of one of the bedrooms. So over 50 kids slept in this room on the floors. They had no beds, no bed sheets, no mattresses. You can see the floor is wet because when it would rain, the floors would flood. This is a picture of the toilets that the kids used. They were constantly overflowing. This is the whole compound where 160 kids lived. This compound was also the community trash dump. So literally everyone in the community would come and throw their garbage where the kids spent every moment of their life, where they bathed, where they ate, where they played. The kids were just in horrible conditions. The worst part is the people that were supposed to be taking care of them were abusing them in different ways. So over the summer, we fell in love with these kids. They became so much more than just kids living in an orphanage. They became Demily and Peter and Rebecca and Marcus, and we decided we couldn't walk away from them. So around that time, I met this guy next to me. Sally and Leah came back to Colorado, started showing people photos of that orphanage and trying to raise support. I called my parents, told them, I'm sorry, I can't come home. I have to stay and try to help these kids. So together we were able to rescue 80 kids from that orphanage and bring them to what we called Musana Children's Home. I always say September 16th. Yeah, you can see that's their bedroom.
Is that it there? Yeah.
So September 16th, 2008 will always be, the best day of my life. The kids seeing their beds for the first time, going around the room and teaching them how to get under a bed sheet and how to use a pillow, telling them, that they're safe and that they're loved. So that was kind of the genesis of Musana, how it started. We were 20 years old, responsible for 80 kids, and we made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot of lessons, and from there, Musana kind of took off and transformed. That's kind of the beginning.
So that's been over 10 years, 12, 13 years. Hamil, what's happening there today? What are you all doing? How have things changed?
Yeah, like Andrea said, after seeing these children and bringing them into Musana, a lot of things changed. And one thing that we realized at that time that we're not just going to treat the symptoms of the problem, but to really deal with the cause of the issue. And the biggest cause for this situation, we looked into it, and it is really the poverty that is striking these communities around where we live. So we decided to go into an holistic approach where Musana became a community development organization, where we want to see people in our community develop, being self-reliant, self-sustaining, and to be free of the dependency cycle on foreign aid, so that we can see dignity and hope in the lives of the people. So right now, the model of Musana is that we raise capital for investment into our social enterprises. And we are focused in areas of education, healthcare, and economic empowerment into our community. In the last 13 years, we have been able to build schools. We have 5 schools right now, educating children from kindergarten all the way through high school, getting quality education. We have been able to also start up schools for marginalized women where they can be trained in skills and vocational trade skills so that they have skills to see that they can support themselves and their children. And right now we have over 4,500 students that go into our schools being educated at Musana. And we have built also a hospital in our community that is reaching over 22,000 people every year, providing all services that they could get in a hospital. And we have also been able to create a lot of employment and other income generating projects into the community. Today, Musana is employing over 400 full-time employees and a lot of microeconomies that are going on into the community. We're on a journey where we want to see all the things self-sustaining, meaning that they can generate income to support themselves than relying on aid, so that the impact can go on to support the most vulnerable children in the community, the marginalized women and widows, and also uplifting the community economically. So right now we are in 3 districts. The first district we've been in, Uganda, we feel we have accomplished and implemented most of the things and is still growing. But we have also established in other 2 districts that we have started Musana, and this is the replication plan that we do. So we want to see that Musana can go in other communities where it needs an initiative like Musana that is very strong and bold, self-sustaining, breaking the cycles of dependency into those communities. Yeah.
I'm just amazed at what you've been able to do in, is it 14 years? Is my math right? How many people do you think you've been able to assist and help?
Yeah, so in total, we've reached over 200,000 people. So that's with education, healthcare, employment, all of those things. So,
wow. And what are your goals long term? I mean, obviously you're growing, you're still doing amazing things, and the community there and back here in America knows about it. What are your long term dreams?
yeah, so Real talked a little bit about replication. So right now we're replicating in 2 new communities, which we're so excited about. Eventually, we want to keep growing Musana's model in communities all around Uganda, East Africa, maybe even beyond that. Musana's model is sustainable. So it provides low-income communities with education, healthcare, and economic development. It provides, quality, affordable education, healthcare, jobs. It's a model that truly uplifts and empowers communities, and so we want to see it replicated. So really, we when we're here in the U.S., we raise funds that go into capital infrastructure. So we don't need to raise money for operations, right? So to pay our staff, to buy food, all of those things are generated with local income, which is, it's our favorite thing about our model, because it proves that local communities, low-income communities, have capacity to develop on their own. They just need, the initial capital investment and startup costs.
Yeah. So what can people do? I mean, it's so inspiring to see what you're doing, to look at the pictures, to see the smiles on those faces. How can people get involved and be a part of what you're doing?
Yeah, so obviously you can check out our website. We have social media. You can follow us on social media, sign up for our newsletters. You can find all of that on our website. Stay in touch with us, follow what we're doing. We have a lot of opportunities for people to come and visit us. If anybody wants to travel to Uganda, we have different teams. We do come and see trips where you can come and learn and be a part of the community, which you can learn about on our website. We also have an exciting event coming up in Denver It's a women's luncheon. So it's women of grit and grace. We have Demi Lee Thibault coming to be our guest speaker, and it's March 9th. So we'd love people to join, come and learn more about Musana. We'll be sharing. So those are a few of the things that people can do to be in touch with us.
Well, that sounds amazing. And they can get tickets to that event online?
Yes.
Great. Well, thanks for all you do to make a difference in the world. And I'm just really glad to learn more about what you're doing. Congratulations for helping. And I know your dream is even bigger than that. And a lot of people are benefiting from that. So God bless.